Hey, it is officially day 14 of my hypersomnia video diary. Today, if you check the title, the topics are going to be my prescription history, which would include the medication that I've have been prescribed over the years to treat hypersomnia, prescribed from a medical doctor. Um, I've had 4 neurologists and 1 psychiatrist. Um, and then I'd like to compare Adderall versus Dexedrine to see what the difference in feeling is there. I've taken both. Used to be on Dexedrine, which is also dextroamphetamine, and now I'm on Adderall, which is amphetamine salt, but I'll get into that a little bit more. And then I wanted to talk about what a drug holiday means, and don't think this is some sort of like teenage movie, on an island and stuff like that in a car ride across the country or something. That's not what I mean by drug holiday. It's almost a prescribed action from your doctor, and actually means absence of medicine. So, I'm going to go through the list of medications here. Let me pull my list up. So I've actually been on 6 different medications, Adderall being the last one. The first one is one that isn't, I don't think, even really prescribed all that much anymore, but it's called Xylert. The actual chemical name is Pemeline. Um, I don't know like a whole lot about Xylert. I haven't heard anyone else ever actually being on it. I looked it up again to see what it was, about more, and it said its effects were moderate, and typically you had to be on it for at least 4 weeks to see an effect, and that's one of the things I remember is having to take it for 4 weeks. How I felt on Xylert was complete zombie-ish. I felt like a little bit awake, but I didn't feel like I was myself in my mind. I felt like something else was happening, and I'm not exactly sure what family the pemeline chemical is in, but its reaction or action on the central nervous system and brain for me had really negative effects. I almost felt like not sick, but like just so not right. So that one quickly was stopped. This one, the next one, I think was used in conjunction maybe with Xylert, or maybe on its own. It's been a long time now. Again, I've been being treated for over or around 20 years. So, but that one by brand name is like Xyrem, Xyrem. But its chemical name is sodium oxybate. So this chemical actually is a sleep-causing agent, and I do remember this. I have to be very precise about when I took it at night, and once you take it, I think you only have like a half hour, 45 minutes, and you're going to be out like for sure every time it knocks you out. The goal here was to kind of think in the opposite way of you're tired all the time, let's try to push you along faster or speed you up. This was, let's see if we can improve your restful sleep and your restorative sleep overnight. This one did not work well for me. You can see in the side effects of it that a lot of times people may wake up and still feel really groggy for in the morning up to 6 hours. That's pretty much what I felt. I did feel like I slept very deep, but I also just felt like very groggy, and I didn't like it at all. So I can't remember if I took that one a few weeks or up to a month. But then the next one, which I think is maybe in line sometimes, was Ritalin. I was on a low dose of Ritalin, which its brand name or chemical name is methylphenidate. Ritalin was similar to Xylert, had a better wakefulness effect, but it carried some of the same mental negative effects that Xylert did as well. And that's just, I felt awake, but again, I felt like I was kind of disconnected from myself. I didn't really feel like, um, it felt like more like it was some sort of antidepressant, I guess is a good way to describe it. So from there, again, I think I mentioned before, doctors try to use amphetamines as a last resort. I didn't, I wasn't tried on Dexedrine until I was on Provigil, and I think I was on Provigil, I want to say for like 4 years. And Provigil's chemical name is Modafinil. There's new versions of it now, which I haven't tried, so maybe that could be something to look into. But when I was on Provigil, I took it just worked randomly, like very sporadically and not very much for the first 3 months. And then after the next 3 months, it picked up a little bit. I had to be on it for about 6 months before I started feeling, I guess, what is supposed to be the normal wakeful effect from it. I I felt a little bit awake. Ritalin made me feel more awake, but Provigil, it did wake me up a little bit, and didn't have like the zombie like effects of it, like of Xylert um, or of Ritalin, but it did give me like some pretty nasty migraines from time to time, um, and just I couldn't depend on it to really work. Sometimes I felt like I was taking some sort of placebo. I did feel like a little bit of jaw tightness when I would take it, and that's pretty much about it. It was pretty ineffective for me. My doctor was reluctant at that time to try anything else. He wanted me to really give a Provigil a good go. So I did. I tried it for about up to 4 years, and steadily we increased the dose. And I can't remember what the final dose I was on, but it could have either been 100 milligrams a day or 200 milligrams. I can't really fully remember. But after that, and I would probably be about at my second neurologist now. So the next neurologist I went to actually switched me over to Dexedrine, and that I was way happier at that point. I felt like finally, I was getting to be to the state of wakefulness that I thought was normal and that I thought I should be at, and that I was at from brief periods, from day to day or per month. Um, Dexedrine, what I felt like with Dexedrine is, yes, it worked pretty well. It it really curbed my appetite at first, so it took some mental training to work through, being able to eat full meals on Dexedrine. Um, I felt like its half life or its actual effective time period wasn't very long. I felt like it seemed to just dissipate relatively quickly. So I stayed on Dexedrine, steadily increasing the dose from 5 milligrams up to I think at the final thing, I think I was on like 40 milligrams a day, or maybe 30. um, I At that time I decided to I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere with my neurologist. I felt like you know I've been telling him that I didn't feel like the Dexedrine was working, and I felt like it just wore off quickly and things like that. And he didn't really. I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't really listening to me. So at that time, I decided to switch over to a psychiatrist, because not only with a neurologist, they're fully aware of the neurochemistry of the brain and how that may interact with mood and energy and stamina and sleeping and things like that. But a psychiatrist is taught the medical prescription part of neurology, and then also they bring in psychology. They've fully studied the psychological aspects of it. and I felt like the psychiatrist listened to me more, and wanted to help me a little bit more. And that's not to say that, you know, this is true for all psychiatrists and neurologists, but that's kind of the way that I interpreted it. A lot of times the neurologists, it was very, very black and white textbook to them. They didn't really want to hear necessarily about, the emotional symptoms that come from something like hypersomnia, how being so tired makes you feel guilty. They looked at the black and white facts of it. So at this time, I was switched over to Adderall and felt an immediate relief, I want to say. The psychiatrist that I saw, his name is Dr. Marco Chavez in San Diego, California. He he was amazed that the neurologist hadn't tried Adderall in conjunction with the Dexedrine, and I'm going to go into the difference between both those in a second. But the Adderall, I was getting I had time release versions of the Dexedrine, but there was something about the Dexedrine that just wasn't Adderall. I don't know how else to explain it. And actually, maybe I can with a couple of facts, because some info I found today. So let's go into, and I don't think I said it. So the proper name for Dexedrine is dextroamphetamine. The proper name for Adderall is amphetamine salts. Adderall is technically dextroamphetamine mixed with levoamphetamine, and I'm going to get into that. So Adderall versus dextroamphetamine, I was kind of going through it a little bit there, and saying what I thought, which one worked better and things like that for me. Just get a little facts about both of them. So Adderall and Dexedrine are both psychostimulants used in the treatment of ADHD and narcolepsy. Adderall is actually not a single substance. It's comprised of various amphetamine salts, 75% of which is dextroamphetamine, the active ingredient in Dexedrine, and the other 25% is levoamphetamine, which is the left-handed mirror image of amphetamine, which matters in chemistry. The difference between the two drugs is the other ingredient, levoamphetamine, that makes up the remaining 25% in the Adderall. Yeah, I just said that, so sorry to repeat myself. And according to studies, dextroamphetamine is seen to have a lesser side effect intensity. So the side effects from it are less intense as compared to Adderall. But Adderall, its side effects, the side effects produced by Adderall are actually tolerated in favor of the desired effects of improved concentration, cognition, prolonged and increased energy. So, and the side effects are, it's the same for every prescription medicine. May constipate you, may cause diarrhea, may cause insomnia, may cause elevation of heart rate, which is one of the things to be concerned about or consider when taking amphetamines. So Adderall has a bit more intensity of those effects, but its mental cognitive effects excel or beat out Dexedrine. And interestingly enough, Dexedrine is actually stronger at lower doses. So, you got to be a chemist and a biologist to probably really understand that part. But I'm going to post links too about those two. So if you want to, click on those and get your own knowledge, and feel free to comment too if you find something I didn't. So that's basically the difference between Dexedrine and Adderall. Adderall is basically, almost completely Dexedrine. It just has a little bit of mix in it. All in all, I prefer Adderall. Dexedrine, when it would wear off, it would make me more tired than when Adderall wears off. It would be like a bigger crash. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the dextrose in it, which dextrose, I believe, is sugar. I'm not really sure, but... So that will take me to my last topic, which, again, is nothing fun, no, like summer movie, like road trip or anything. It's not what you think it is, but a drug holiday, and I'm going to post a link for this too, just to, always have a reference, because I like to reference my facts. According to healthline.com, drug holidays. If you take a stimulant drug, you can experience side effects that include a loss of appetite and weight loss. Your doctor may prescribe a drug holiday, which is a deliberate break in treatment for a specific amount of time and purpose, such as identifying side effects. For example, your doctor may prescribe a drug holiday, during the end of the month, or taking a full month off, to then evaluate, how well is the drug working, how are you feeling just as a, not being medicated. And I do that yearly and again monthly. Lastly, they note everyone who takes stimulant drugs should be periodically reevaluated to see if the drug is still effective and needed, because tolerance is a factor. So again, because of the nature of the drug, you can't win every time. It can't be a perfect day every day of the month. So you have to have these drug holidays, and not take the medicine. Otherwise, the medicine won't work anymore. And the crappy part is if there was a medicine that could solve this, then maybe you take that every day, and you don't have to worry about these the side effects of the drug, as well, being so limiting on how much you can take it. I mean, I guess that happens with other things like cancer and stuff, and you can only have so much chemotherapy. I guess somehow it's similar. You need it to live and survive, but at the same time, it's hurting you effectively somehow. I think about that too. Had I never taken stimulants or whatever, I probably would have more heartbeats in my lifetime or something. It's because I know it's increased my heart rate, or maybe that's where my heart rate wanted to be all along. I don't know, but I know I don't want to be asleep all the time, and I don't want to be sleepy. So, all right, I think I'm getting further, at least a lot more knowledge now, regarding hypersomnia, and getting some really cool things, understanding the differences between the chemicals. Yeah, so I'm going to end it there tonight. Again, thanks for being here on day 14, getting close to the halfway point. So, awesome. See you tomorrow.